Camera captures little boy getting out of bed to sleep with his dog. Cats and dogs always like to be around children. In this story you will see how a little boy gets out of bed to sleep with Brutus the dog. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell for new videos. In this video, I will also tell you what other parents saw on the nanny camera. As parents are curious about their children, they tend to install cameras in the house or in the baby's room to keep an eye on it. The cameras allow them to see what is happening, especially at night when everybody sleeps. Finn's mother did this, as did a mother from Michigan. They both wanted to see what was happening in the room of their baby. The mother from Michigan, Heather, heard strange noises in the house at night. She and her husband didn't know where the sounds came from nor what it could be. Heather therefore decided to place a camera in her baby's room. And what was shown in the footage was unbelievable. The parents and their 1-year-old daughter Lily lived in the house of Lily's paternal grandmother, until they discovered something terrible and decided to move out immediately. It all started when Heather noticed that Lily had nasty scratches on her face. She assumed that Lily did that to herself by accident like any other little child would. However, more and more scratches appeared that by time it felt abnormal. At the beginning, Heather told her husband, Joshua, but he had no clue. At night, however, she heard strange noises and squeaking doors and also footsteps in the kitchen. She suspected this was all related to the scratches on Lily's face. If Joshua never got up at night and didn't know how Lily got the scratches, something was wrong and she had to find out what it was. Heather always locked the doors and windows before she went to bed. She also trimmed these nails so that she couldn't hurt herself. She had a strong hunch that Joshua was behind this and that he refused to admit it. Heather and Joshua were a great couple. They were young and happy, but when the scratches in Lily's face started to appear, the relationship deteriorated because Heather no longer trusted Joshua. So she came up with the idea of placing a camera in Lily's room. Together with Joshua, she bought a camera that enabled her to film at night. When Heather finally watched the footage, she freaked out. The footage showed a man walking. She immediately got angry when she saw the man because she believed it was Joshua. So why did he lie to her all this time? Luckily, she now had evidence and could confront him more easily. With this thought, Heather continued to watch the footage. Lily saw the man arriving and looked at him. But when the man faced the camera, Heather saw that it wasn't Joshua at all. She didn't know the man, and she kept watching the footage until she noticed that the man became transparent. Then she realized that this man was not a living being, but rather something supernatural. Heather felt terrified and wanted to move out immediately. What would your reaction be if you saw such footage? She showed Josh with the footage and he freaked out as well as parents. Joshua and Heather had to make sure their family was safe. Their best option was to relocate, and they did. Joshua informed the police of the situation and the police referred him to paranormal research scientists. And what they discovered was even more frightening than what Joshua and Heather had seen on the footage. Right away a team was sent to the house and they started investigating. They discovered that the strange man on the footage was by no means the only weird thing that occurred in their home. Heather later said that one day she woke up and felt like somebody was strangling her. But she couldn't tell anyone because she thought nobody would believe her. Now the truth was out and she was sure the strangulation had a connection to the man who was in the house at night. When the team examined the house, they made several recordings of unusual noises and even specific words and sentences. They wanted to discover what Heather had seen on the footage. Joshua's mother said that she once heard that the house was haunted because the previous owner had fallen down the stairs and broken her neck. She had been lying there for a while before she died. But who was this man? The man was her brother, who was mentally ill and later died in the house. There was another story concerning the house, but that didn't interest Joshua and Heather. They only thought of leaving sooner rather than later. They didn't know what the ghost wanted, but they knew it had terrible consequences for their family. Heather and Joshua later posted the footage on YouTube and most people freaked out when they saw it, but some people don't believe what they see and think. The family edited the footage. The strange thing was that the ghost had a shadow. He had not just one, but two. Despite all the footage, it remained unclear how Lily got the scratches in her face. Many experts have tried to answer the question, but nobody really knew. Heather posted something on Facebook a few weeks later. It was a GoFundMe post requesting money to cover their moving costs. An expert who also studied the footage saw this and sent her a message to clarify a few things. The expert's name was Kenny, and during his research he noticed that the TV was on during the recording. According to him, it is possible that someone had gotten up and had been watching TV before going to the kitchen. The family had forgotten that all this had happened and had misunderstood the footage. Could this be the case? Sadly, Kenny never got a reply from Heather, and he is still waiting for a message from her. Finn and Brutus. In Lily's story, we have seen how you can see scary things on the nanny camera. But it doesn't always need to be like this. You can also see your child doing funny things at night. Watch this until the end and then you will see what this family saw on the camera. Paige was over the moon when she found out she was pregnant. She immediately adopted a 2-year-old dog from an animal shelter so that her baby Finn wouldn't be alone. She did not know at that time that the bond between Finn and the dog would be stronger than expected. The dog's name was Brutus, and he was fond of attention and cuddles. He was like a real teddy bear and also very intelligent. When Paige was 20 weeks pregnant, a scan revealed that Finn had a small problem with his heart. That's why Finn had to undergo several procedures after his birth. He couldn't go home immediately like other babies, and he needed special treatment until he was healthy and big enough to have surgery. Paige was grateful that the doctors discovered Finn's problem at an early stage and could help him in time. After a few weeks, Finn was allowed to go home and meet Brutus. When Brutus saw him, they started bonding right away. He was happy to see his little brother, and Paige did not need to worry. It seemed as if Brutus knew that Finn needed extra care and he was always close to him, keeping an eye on him. Finn and Brutus grew up together and were together all the time. From watching TV to playing outside, Brutus never hurt Finn, and vice versa. If you grew up with a dog like Finn, please let us know how you experienced it. Brutus kept a close eye on Finn, just like in the beginning. He was like a big brother to Finn, and they were inseparable. Brutus always sat down next to Finn and followed him everywhere. When Finn was sick, Brutus would lie very quietly next to him, or even put his head on Finn's chest. Brutus hated being separated from Finn even for a few minutes. He would stand in front of the door and scratch it until he was allowed inside. Ever since Finn was a baby, these two had been sleeping together. Finn, in his cot, and Brutus on a carpet close to the bed. And when Finn slept in a bigger bed, Brutus could easily lie next to him, and they both enjoyed it. Brutus positioned himself so that Finn couldn't roll out of the bed. So these friends always slept together because of their strong relationship. Paige moved Brutus' bed to Finn's room, but she didn't know what happened at night. She had placed a nanny camera in Finn's room to keep an eye on Finn. Most parents do this and it can help to keep your child safe. One day, when Paige was looking at the footage, she discovered the routine of Brutus and Finn. She observed Finn climbing out of bed with a blanket to lie down with Brutus, and Brutus didn't mind Finn using him as a pillow at all. His priority was that Finn could sleep well. This scene made Paige smile and she shared it with the world. Now you can smile about it too. Now you know how important a camera can be in a baby's room. It records funny things and less fun things, so you always know that the child is doing well, and sometimes you discover beautiful things. Do you also consider placing one in your baby's room, or do you have a camera somewhere else in the house? By the way, can you still subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so that you won't miss a single video?